All right, y'all. Welcome back. Welcome back. It is episode 31 of the Fitness Headspace Podcast, hosted by none other, Deion Avril from Evolve Fitness, along with Joy Monique, right? One of our favorite fitness coaches that's along this journey with us. So today's episode is solely focusing on no more New Year's resolutions. All right. We done with
Yeah.
all that, family. We done with all that. Okay.
Okay.
So now y'all probably like, what you talking about? So chances are at some point in time you have made a New Year's resolution, whether it's right before New Year's, literally on New Year's, or later on throughout the year. But if I'm going to be completely black and white with y'all, it's been broken at some point in time. Now I want you to just think about it for a few seconds. Why? What came up for you to break that New Year's resolution that tends to become a cycle every year? You know what I mean? This year's when it stops. There's no more cycling. We're done with doing all that. 2022 is your year. You see what I'm
Okay.
saying? So make sure that this year you're following through for next year. So whatever intentions that you're setting, and we're going to go into detail a little bit more in just a second in regards to how we're going to do that. Okay. If your resolution is not to take better care of yourself, I guess everybody's different. You know what I'm saying? But I just don't see why you wouldn't want to. But my thing is if you're in a position you know for sure that this is something that you want to do, your resolution will stick. It will stick. You just have to be committed. You have to be dedicated, and you have to be on top of it. So we're gonna get you started with that. One of the things that you're gonna do is literally start now. Literally start right now, not tomorrow. It should have been even yesterday. So when y'all watching this, it should have been beforehand, right? Do not wait until New Year's Eve. Do not wait till, you know what I mean? My thing is that we tend to get hyped up around that time and say, all right, cool. It's time to set these New Year's resolutions. And I always see like the last week of December. I'm just like,
Yeah.
y'all had your whole year to kind of like gather, all the things that you want to work on, how we want to improve things. And you should be collectively taking all that, reflecting on it. So then moving into next year, you know what needs to be done. So this should be planned ahead of time, is what we're saying. You need more clarity. You need to have an idea of what your journey is going to look like. So you have a very clear understanding, still clarity, and understanding of what's going to be going on moving forward for the upcoming year. The second thing is to make sure that your goal is obtainable. You don't
Yeah.
want to set anything too high, right? I forgot how they say it. There's a saying, you probably know it. I can't remember it, but I'd rather you reach where you can as opposed to overreach and not reach where you wanted to go and feel, like discouraged or,
I think like
disappointed.
the phrase I bet you like shoot for the moon then aim for the stars or something like that to where
It's
it's like
something similar to that.
if your goal is still high, but it's not like just really gotta reach. You know what I'm
Correct.
saying?
Make sure it's not unobtainable. Like it needs to be something that's realistic. You want to make sure that it's something that, for example, give you something, a perfect example. Let's say that you're like saying, okay, I want to stop eating a certain type of X, Y, and Z, whatever it is. I need to cut out sweets. I need to cut out whatever. Don't do it cold turkey. Do not do it cold turkey. Make sure it's something that you work up to. Okay, this needs to be a gradual type of thing. It needs to be a progression. It's just like anything else in life. If you're learning a new job, if you're learning a new skill, whatever it is, you have to learn it over time. So, for example, you playing the piano, you don't just know how to play it. You know what I mean? This is something that you have to learn over time. And it's the same thing. You have to give your body the opportunity to learn that new healthy habit that you're trying to establish. Okay. The next thing, plan ahead. It goes right back to what we're saying. You have to start now. You have to have a plan. You have to have some clarity. I'm going to reiterate it. I'm going to sound like, a bird again. Just make sure you're not waiting till last minute. Okay. This should be a plan ahead of time to an extent to where you have it laid out. Okay, cool. Between this time and this time, I need to focus on, yeah, I want to lose weight. Cool. And this kind of goes into our second one. I'm kind of merging them together as far as your outline, your plan. Having an outline saying, okay, I want to practice on skipping certain temptations or being around certain things because I know how I get. Like for example, if you go to the fair and you're like, damn, there's a certain thing that I always eat, fried Oreos or whatever. Then we need to start focusing on outlining that plan to where it's like, okay, well, maybe I should like skip it this one time, or find a way around that, or find another alternative, a healthier alternative when you're there. But
Yeah.
ultimately, not to sidetrack, but outlining everything will give you exactly what you need. So start from one to whatever that number is, and say, all right, the first thing that I'm going to do is commit myself. I'm going to start going to, let's say, the gym. You start with the gym, set a certain amount of days, 5 days, cool. Then continue to your next 5 days, then continue from there. But you need to make sure that you have an outline so you know where you are and where you're going ultimately. You know what I mean? You can't start something without knowing your why and where to go from
Mhm.
that point. What you got to say? What you got? What you got?
I don't know. You just hitting every point, just hitting. I was over here just in agreement.
I thought she was about to come through the. I thought you was coming through the whole screen, homie. But no, seriously. So that's really where I want to at least stop, and I want to give you the floor, Joy, and kind of give us some more things as well too for the New Year's resolution and stopping it and making sure it's not a loop.
Yes, because one thing I can't say is like my timeline flooded every December through January 5th because y'all want to get like a week into the year before it start kind of like teetering off a little bit. It's like, oh, I'm going to lose all this weight. I'm going to cut out eating sweets. I'm going to make all this money. I'm going to start a business going to be 6 figures in the next 6 months. It's like a lot of things that you're trying to get done in a small amount of time, but there's no real plan as far as how the things are going to be accomplished. So to kind of, clear things out, to kind of start putting a plan into place, I like to do what's called a pros and cons list. Okay. And for how I just think about this pros and cons list is like, think about the pros as far as what could I gain or benefit from doing this certain thing? Or the cons could be like, what can happen if I don't? To me, that's like a good foundational way to kind of figure out whether or not your goal is even one that is relevant. You know what I'm saying? Like what's the SMART goal? It's like whether it's smart, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time efficient. I can't think of have that phrase, whatever like that. But the S part of it is like where this pros and cons list come into play. So it's like, is this a smart goal for me to have? What do I gain from trying to implement this new change into my lifestyle? If I don't do it, what could be the effect for it as well? So say, okay, if I want to start cutting off sugar, the pros is, you have better, blood sugar levels, better overall health, better, digestion levels, insulin levels, all these things for you physically and health wise, improve for you. What are the cons for it? It could be the weight gain, hormonal imbalances, able, breaking out, whether it be acne, things like that. It's like, there are, like I said, both pros and cons to doing any kind of thing. So it's like for you, having those things kind of outlined, put it on purpose, put it on paper, write it out, make it plain. It's going to make it a lot more visible to see like, okay, this is why I have to do these certain things, start putting these certain things into place. And then of course, with that, I think people always like have this phrase to where like you gotta move in silence. You gotta be real hush, real like Pink Panther with the vibes. Like you just get into the corner. You know what I'm saying? Like my thing is that it's like, okay, so, for anything that like any kind of new idea, okay, you may not want to have that shared out with the whole world, but most of the things that they were trying to do is not anything that's new. But I would say being able to say it out loud, talk about it, really make your goals known. It's going to be a real major way to keep you accountable. Our perfect example is I make things rough for myself. So like last year during my weight loss journey, I can tell you for sure the way how I was able to stay so consistent was because I made my goals public. That I can tell you was a big motivational thing for me because it's like, okay, I put all this thing out here into the world. I'm telling anybody, oh, I'm about to lose this weight, or y'all just wait, oh, give me a few months. And then let me turn around and nothing has changed. You think somebody's not gonna be like, well, I thought she was gonna lose some weight.
Right.
What happened? I thought she was gonna start this business. What happened? I thought she was gonna, go back to school. What happened? I thought she was gonna, do whatever, just on the third. What happened to it? I promise you, whether it be your mama, grandma, auntie, somebody's always gonna be like, what happened to these things you said you was gonna do? And it's not for us to like put fear or shame on it. That's for the accountability piece. They have somebody to hold you accountable, like, hey, you said you wanted to do these things. I'm not sure what's going on with you currently, but are we going to get back on track with that? That's the whole thing about wanting to say things out loud. And then of course, going back into our previous episode about making declarations, like, affirming yourself, saying things out loud, it makes things a lot more tangible if you say it to where things become more real. Because say our mind does not know what's real and what's fake. It just knows what you said. So if you say these goals are, going to happen enough, they will happen. And then also keeping track of things. So you don't know where you're going if you don't know where you've been. So being able to see where you are now, that way you have an idea of where you should be. So, putting things in regards to your weight. You're saying, hey, I want to lose 15 pounds in the next, let's say 6 to 8 weeks or whatever. A very attainable goal. You can definitely do that. Okay, so what that look like for you on a weekly basis? Okay, I say I need to lose maybe about between 2 or 3 pounds per week. Okay, so how that look for you daily? Okay, I need to at least start drinking more water. Okay, so how much water do you drink now currently? Maybe a glass or two, give or take, whatever like that. Okay, so how are we able to track whether or not you are increasing your water intake? Having a bottle that has actual measurements on it that you're able to see, like the ounces, the liters, whatever like that. That's a small way to be able to see physically. Okay, before I used to get through one of these bottles in the full day. Now I'm able to get through 1.5. Now I'm moving up to 2. It's just things like that are things that are very tangible that you can do to actually show, hey, I'm making progress in this area. Or even when it comes to your actual exercise, like, hey, I want to be able to, at some point, I want to squat 150 pounds. Okay, so where are we at today? Give me 70. I'll do the 70 pounds right now. Okay, so what can I do to start to get myself to build up to that amount of weight to squat? Okay, so right now I'm at 70. Okay, I'm gonna keep doing this, consistently for the next week or so. Start to just gradually add on 5 pounds, add on 10 pounds, things like that. And then I've been able to see yourself on paper and then feel yourself physically being able to carry more weight. And you're seeing that number move up as far as like, okay, last month I was squatting 70 pounds, but now I moved up to, 100 pounds of, weight to be able to squat it with the right form and everything. That's progress. That's you actually showing yourself that me doing this thing consistently is creating the results. And then that just helps me know when it comes to the mindset of being able to stay consistent anyway, because it's hard to know if it's working if you're not able to see your progress. That's why we always say track things. Get you either like a little notebook to write out your workouts, spreadsheets, an app, whatever, a fitness tracker, whatever works for you to be able to actually see for yourself how you're able to progress. Take pictures, use your measurements, things like that are going to be other tangible things for you to be able to see, feel, and do to know, okay, the scales are moving, but I see these inches are, coming out the waist, coming out the hip style, whatever like that. It's still ways for you to show yourself that you are making the progress that you are, working towards. And that also counts with your meals as well. So they able to actually know what you're eating. Because I know the biggest thing for a lot of us, me included, is knowing what we eat. Hey, transparency, y'all. It is what it is. Our food is always like the hard part because, very food driven as far as our culture, everything is like a celebration around food. So knowing, okay, so how many calories do I consume on any given day? And the best thing that to do when you start off to track your food calories is to really be honest, like really just go through, don't look at the number, trying to, trying to finesse it to be like, oh, I don't really eat this much. No, actually log it. Actually log what you eat for like a week. Just put it down, let it be what it is. And then go back, talk to your coach, whether it be me, Deion, or whoever else. Okay, I eat this many calories per day, per week on average. Okay, so where do I have to be as far as calorie wise to get to my goal, whether it be to lose weight, gain weight, maintain, whatever your personal, circumstances, where do I have to be as far as my calories to reach my goals? Okay, I'm right now I'm at 1,800 calories per day. I need to be more so around like 1,200 calories per day. Okay, so I see where I'm at. I know where I need to go. And so what can I do? Start to move backwards. Cut out 100 calories a day per week, however it feels comfortable and natural for you, that we can still see your progress. do things like that gradually. That way you're able to see yourself making progress as far as your eating, knowing what foods, hold more calories, what foods are low, are more filling, but still have more nutrients in it as well. Like those things are going to be great things for you to be able to see for yourself. Like, okay, eating these certain foods, I still feel full. I still feel satiated and everything, but I'm not packing on as many calories as I used to by eating these more processed foods and things like that. And then with that, I'm going to let Deion kind of give us some more tips about how to go ahead and get these goals, stay consistent, and get rid of these New Year's resolutions. So Deion.
100%. Appreciate you. So, the last few that we have, the next one is literally don't beat yourself up. One thing that I always tell everybody, and I say it on here all the time, like obsessing yourself with an occasional slip and saying like, man, okay, I just went over and I've had people tell me this, like, I went over 300 calories. I don't know what to do. Keep going. You know what I mean? And the fact that you acknowledge it is the best thing ever, right? Not just throwing it underneath the bus, like, hey, because that'd be negligent. But the fact of you being aware, cool. And we're going to leave it at that. But you being so obsessive will not help you reach your goal any quicker. It's the fact of, yes, acknowledge, cool. Set that plan, make sure you get back on track and keep it moving. Do your best at any given time, each and every day, and do what you can. Take it one day at a time. Take it one day at a time. Rome wasn't built in a day. That's the phrase that I always say. Hey, I got a little barge or something, but and also just be proud of yourself and this is kind of like at the beginning, be proud of yourself for being able to bounce back and getting back on track, because a lot of people don't realize how big of a deal that is. Like you going out, like say I went out for Thai food with friends and now I'm freaking out because I just went over like 800, 1200 calories, right? I'm like, what do I do? Okay, you acknowledge the fact the food was busting, but now we got to get back on track. It's that simple. Okay. Don't try to go to the store and get smooth move. Don't try to take any herbal teas. Don't try to do none of that rah-rah. Don't do none of that. Continue to do what you're doing. Continue moving, continue working out, whatever it is. But be kind to yourself is really what I want to say. Just be kind to yourself. Don't beat it up. And now being kind to yourself always also segues into the next one, which is rewarding yourself. This does not mean that you can just eat an entire box of chocolates and cookies and stuff when you do something good. To say that, especially if your resolution is to be on a better diet, like that don't work, So you really want to think about celebrating your success to something that you enjoy that doesn't really contradict what the goal is. So, for example, you did a great job as far as and this is going to kind of segue in the next one. Let's say you did a great job in reaching whatever that goal is, right? And let's say that goal is, I'm going to just go ahead and pair them two together because they actually go really well together. Let's say that you just lost 5 pounds, right? So you can use that as a way to say, all right, cool, let's go to the movies with the homies or something. And also as you continue to lose that, if your total goal is 15 pounds in the next 6 months or whatever the case is, and you hit that goal, your reward at the end should be new clothes to go to the gym. You know what I mean? You don't necessarily want to say like, hey, let's go out and let's go have fun. Let's go party. I mean, you can, but again, it literally contradicts the whole point. Like you're going to go out and go eat when the whole point was to lose weight. So at the end, this is what we do. Again, not saying that it's a bad thing, but it's just a concept that you want to think about. Try to pair it up with things that make more sense and it's not contradicting, the goals that you have in mind. Now, the other thing is being patient and realizing that like patience is a virtue, like it's a real thing. It takes about 21 days to create an actual habit. It doesn't matter what the activity is. It takes approximately that much. Now, as far as it becoming a part of like more of like your lifestyle, approximately 6 months. And again, everybody's different because I know some people, they could cut things cold turkey. That's it. You gotta never worry about it again. Some people, it takes a little bit longer. Especially like when we're talking about transitioning from one thing to another or waking up early and you're a night owl. that doesn't mix. So just taking your time and making those adjustments, doesn't matter what it is as far as your New Year's resolution, being very patient and making sure that you are persistent with it as well too, and just take your time. Again, everything is in due time. Do not get discouraged if you don't see the goal that you want at that deadline. You should be creating a deadline. You definitely should be creating a deadline for whatever that resolution is. I know we didn't really put that in there, but the outline of your plan should have some type of date in there. Um, but don't get discouraged. You have to keep trying. You have to continue going. It does not stop. And to put it into perspective for people who like sports or whatever your craft is, or if there's a person that you find to be inspirational to you and the things that you do, a lot of them had to fail before they were successful.
Oh,
That's
yes.
really how it goes. You know what I mean? Like, for example, if you were given a silver spoon to run a business and do things with no help, that's one thing, right? So you're still trying to learn things on your own. If somebody hands it to you and it's like, all right, cool, you just know what to do. But as opposed to somebody who really had to get it out the mud, and really learn all this by themselves, or still utilize resources, but not having it like that person who had the silver spoon, and realize like, damn, I had to trip and fall on my face multiple times. But do you know how strong of a backbone you got now? Do you know how much experience you've obtained? And now you can leverage that for yourself as well too. And there's a gentleman, his name is Gary V. I know some people probably heard of him. Very, inspirational dude. And he's always mentioning, he's like, bro, I look forward to hearing the no's. He's like, because at the end of the day, I know for every no, there's going to be 3 yeses. Or for every door that closes, 2 more are going to open. So this just gets you prepared. So, for example, if you're going somewhere and you're doing a business proposal and they say no, that's fine. It's absolutely fine. What you should be doing is getting feedback, see what's going on, things of that nature. How can you improve moving forward? You shouldn't be a person where you're just like, I'm just going to stop. I'm not going to do it. Why didn't they like it? What can you do to improve it? Give me some constructive criticism so I can continue to try, so I can get there and be successful from that point. Um, if you get to a point to where you feel like you're done, you're over it, take 24 hours away from it. Take 24 hours. Give yourself that time, be present, see what's going on, identify where you could improve and make tweaks and adjustments, and then get back on the train. Get back on the train. It does not stop just because of the fact of you hit a bump in the road. Pave that bad boy over and keep moving. And that's really what I have. Joy, I don't know if you have anything to add in before we do our little recap and updates.
I think you really kind of just hit everything. Like, anything I thought I was going to say, you kind of just went ahead and grabbed it. So I was like, hey, we're going to let this thing roll out just like this. So, y'all, to kind of give it a good recap, the whole premise of this episode, y'all, is to put actions into place today. There's no more waiting for a certain time of year, a certain season. Oh, I'm going to do it next year. I'm going to start next summer. I'm going to start my next birthday. I'm going to wait till I turn whatever. Do it right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, start it right now. And it's not about having to have so many different plans into place at one time. Create actionable steps. Take things one thing, at a time. Your goal right now is like, hey, I will be able to get more things done in the morning. I have to wake up earlier. Okay, that's one thing you can start to implement tomorrow. You have that alarm set, and I promise you, a few times you have to be like, okay, I know the alarm is going off. Let me, a few times doing it, you'll be able to actually be up and stay up and all that kind of stuff. But just putting the practice into place, that way at some point it does turn into that habit for you. But to go ahead and create this nice little outline for today's episode, y'all, to make sure we got all the gems. This is where the pen pads, the notepads on your phone should be. Go ahead and unlock them. Get the pens out, notes, whatever like that. So, like I said, the cycle of waiting every year, that is over. We're making SMART goals. They're going to be, very strategic. They're going to be measurable. They're going to be attainable. They're going to be realistic, and they're going to be time, I can't think, what is that phrase? It's like time something.
I don't know. I haven't heard of the acronym. I got to look it up later now.
If y'all know, put that down in the comments for me. I'm messing it up today. But if y'all know, let me know down below in the comments. It's time sensitive. There we go.
Okay. It just says timely.
Timely. There we go. Y'all know what we mean. Do not have a goal to
time-based.
Just be like, oh, at some point I will get to this. Like, no, like how Deion said earlier, put a deadline to it. Give yourself a harsh date to track your progress and see, okay, so from this month to this month, What have I got done from this day to this day, from this hour to this hour, from this minute to this minute? Like, what have I done lately to get toward, to keep, reaching towards my goals? So have those things in place for you. It's like, creating that full plan and have the plan outlined, what plans, having that list for your pros and cons to know, like, okay, what things are smart for me to work on? What do I get the most benefit out of as far as changing certain things as far as my lifestyle? And then having an outline for what things you want to tackle first and kind of have a order, kind of like, piggyback off of that as you go along through your outline of all these goals that you're going to be crushing going forward. And talk about it. Let a friend know, a mentor know, let social media know. They will keep you accountable. Let somebody know what your plans are. Do not be afraid to say it out loud. That gives your words power. That gives your plan meaning and strength, and has somebody to hold you accountable as well. And we all need that accountability piece. It's amazing. And you very much need to also be self-accountable, but to also have somebody who can just kind of be like, hey friend, you said you was going to do this. What's going on? Let's get back into it. What can I do? What's missing? What's going on? Having that is going to be a real, support to be able to just kind of help push you through whatever humps that may come in, your path while you're going through this journey. And then able to track your progress, whether it be through apps or journaling or having certain things like, spreadsheets in place, whatever like that, to be able to see where you are and understanding where you're going, and then know how you're going to get there based upon what you have for your outline. And then, like how Deion was saying, like, be nice to yourself. Do not beat yourself up. This is not like a smooth journey for anybody, for any season or day or time. It's never going to be like you're hitting everything on point, just so accurately, so precise. It's going to be bumps in the road. We're going to have life changes. Like, you're going to fall off your diet here and there because of a birthday celebration, or because of graduation, because you got married, whatever like that, or had a kid. Life is going to continue to happen. The things about having these things in place about is being able to know how to get back on track. We're not saying that you're never going to fall off track. That's life, but knowing how to get back on track and to not be so hard on yourself about when things, kind of get into your way. That's the main thing, main focus of what we're talking about for today's episode. Be patient with yourself. Things take time. Nothing, these bad habits were not built overnight. It's not going to be reversed overnight as well. So give yourself time to work through each individual habit, able to change that con into a pro. And, allow yourself to have the grace to really just go through it, learn from it, and be able to implement new things going forward. And the main thing is just to keep trying. Keep trying, find new things, new ways that work for you, new hobbies, new ways to, show your progress being tracked, new ways to treat yourself after you hit, like, certain landmark goals. Just keep making the progress. Baby step, crawl, walk, run, sprint, however you're going to have your progress grow, through your journeys. Allow yourself to really just, feel the full process and really be able to, hone in on the moment. But that is it. And that is all for today's episode, y'all. Thank you so much for joining us once again for the Fitness Headspace Podcast. Y'all be coming back each and every week, and I just can't imagine why, but I think I kind of know, because we always come back, hopefully, to give you guys all these amazing gems that you guys can really implement and use when it comes to your own wellness journeys. Of course, always give us that like, thumbs it up, leave us a comment, share it out with only three people, y'all.
That's it, y'all.
People. Give it to the mailman, the UPS guy, and the girl down the Kroger. Give it to them. Let them know what's going on. Let them know that we are here to help them on their own wellness journeys as well. And of course, turn on that bell. That way, each and every week when things drop, you're not the last to know. Who wants to be the last to know when things happen? You don't want to be the last. So go ahead and be the first and have that bell turned on. If you haven't already, follow the main account page over Evolve Fitness FLA on Instagram. And then, of course, you can also follow our own individual pages as well. If you want to kind of ask either me or Deion more personalized one-on-one questions, the DMs are open for any kind of, questions, comments, or just any kind of like interaction as well. And then, of course, below the YouTube video as well, like I said, keep that interaction going. We love to hear your feedback, to kind of get your response, your takeaways, things you guys are going to start implementing going forward. Let us know what your biggest takeaways from. Actually, I'm gonna give y'all a tangible thing to do. Anybody who sees this video, go down below in the comments, give me 3 main takeaways. 3 is the number for this episode, y'all. Each and every week, give me 3 main takeaways that you guys have gained from this video. Let us know down below in the comment section. That way, you're able to see, what is really resonating with you all when it comes to our content. But do you have any thing for us to kind of close out with? Any church announcements for us to get the show wrapped up with?
You lucky I ain't got no towel or nothing, I'll be up in here. But yeah, so really quick, without giving too much, all I can say is this episode is probably going to be the game changer for everybody. Especially when it comes to the Evolve Fitness team and everybody that we're working with. So just know that there's going to be major updates that are going on for next year, which is our New Year's resolution, technically. These weren't necessarily a resolution. These are things that we already set in stone as far as what we're going to do. But we'll consider them technically that, just to give you guys an ideal. But just be ready. There's going to be some major updates. I can't speak for Joy. Y'all can see it on my face. I'm super excited. I'm so ready for y'all to see what's about to go down. We are about to really bring it to y'all. So, again, just want to genuinely thank everybody that hops on the podcast with us, whether it's here, along with on IG, seeing us there. Like we said, we're there every Friday. And again, what happens is it gives us all the opportunity to really tap in with one another on a personal basis and seeing us in real time and asking questions and really just building that rapport and building that genuine relationship and building that community that we're doing at this point in given time. Not only that, catch us, like we said, every Friday at 8 p.m. So do not hesitate to reach out to us on a personal basis, like we said, and just be ready. And that's all I got to say. I digress.
Be ready, y'all. Be ready. That's all we're going to say is be ready. But y'all, of course, as always, thank y'all for coming through. We're going to catch y'all on the next one. Bye, y'all.